Welcome to Beating Cancer Daily. Beating stage 4 cancer for 30 years still takes my breath away every time I say it. I'm Saranne, founder of the Comedy Cures Foundation, and I hope you'll join me for just a few minutes daily for the next 365 days so we may laugh, learn, maybe cry a little as we live our best days beating cancer daily together. Did you ever just want to have fun and you had to do something that you really didn't want to do? Well, I was finishing up doing something that I love, which is packing a gift box to Kate, who actually helps do all the production side of this podcast. And I was packing up a tiara for her because I call her Lady Kate. And I had to then go into accounting with our Comedy Cures bookkeeper. And there's nothing wrong with our Comedy Cures bookkeeper. It's just, I don't love accounting. I would much more prefer to make fun Comedy Cures programs and create this podcast. So after I packed up the tiara for Kate, I put a tiara on my head, and then I walked into my bookkeeper and I said, I have a present for you. It's tiara day. And she looked at me like I was out of my mind. A grown woman wearing a tiara in a charity and walking into another woman at the charity with a tiara. And she giggled and then she put it on her head. And the two of us sat there with our tiaras on, knowing that Kate was going to get her tiara too, because I was sending her a tiara. And I don't know, the whole thing just made it funny. Every time I looked at her, and I had to be very serious about the accounting of our nonprofit, I just looked at her with a tiara on her head, and it made it so much more fun. Now we got all the accounting done. It was all accurate, but it just made it a lot more fun for me and a lot more fun for her. So she works for us part-time, and I wonder if she went to her other job and said, can I wear my tiara today? Now, why do I have so many tiaras? Well, a donor to our charity had a birthday party and the theme was tiaras. So when it was over, she brought all her tiaras to Comedy Cures. So I give them to very special people like Lady Kate and to our bookkeeper. And I use them when I just need to feel either princess-like or I need a good laugh. So that just reminded me that when I was bald and going through chemo treatment, I didn't have anywhere to put the tiara because I was totally bald. But I actually saw Bernie Siegel of Love, Medicine, and Miracles draw on a bald patient's head because she asked him to sign her head. And so he drew a picture and signed. And then I did it with my daughter too, because she was a great artist. And I thought it'd be really fun to give her washable markers and let her draw on my head. So if you're bald, make sure you use washable markers and not permanent markers. And you can let someone draw a tiara on your head. If that's not your thing, then you can put on your wig if you have a wig, and you can literally push the tiara into your wig, and you can have a tiara too. Or I've even done it where I Velcroed a tiara to somebody's hat because they wanted to wear a hat, but I wanted them to have a tiara. So we just Velcroed the hat, Velcroed the tiara, and there you go. They were able to have a tiara too. So maybe we should start a holiday called Tiara Tuesday, and we all break out our tiaras on Tuesdays and just have a lot of fun. Now, there is a method to my madness, and there's a lot of research on positivity and play and surprise. I've actually quoted Mike Rucker's book before, The Fun Habit. And I happened to be looking on LinkedIn and I saw that my friend Mike Rucker actually had posted an article about increasing your fun. Now, Mike gives the benefits, as we do many times on this podcast, about how a joy-filled life can reduce stress, improve immune function, and increase longevity. But he does point to two different researchers, Kathleen Dillon's seminal research looking at how positive emotions enhance the immune system. He also looks at the work of researcher Ed Diener, who built a case that joyful people live longer. So thanks to Mike for writing this article and pointing out those two studies. Mike also looks at a research team comprised of scientists from MIT, Harvard, Stanford, and other places that actually looked at people who don't incorporate fun into their lives have a much higher chance of burnout. Now, I can't think of anything less fun than cancer treatment and anything that could burn you out quicker than cancer treatment. So what I did when I was diagnosed with cancer by starting the Comedy Cures Foundation was immediately rig the deck, immediately create a vehicle where I could not only have fun with myself and with my daughter, because I was a single mom, but I created opportunities to have fun with other patients, with caregivers, and with professional healthcare workers. And that started just in my chemo chair with that first chemo comedy party, and then worked its way outward until I've been able to throw the first comedy event at the United Nations, the first comedy event at the World Health Organization, and collaborate with over 1,000 organizations and corporations, just bringing joy, play, laughter, comedy, and a comic perspective. What a gig. I know I get to do this. And it really all started from that first chemo comedy party when I just decided cancer was too scary, too serious, too boring, and too harmful in a weird way to my mind, body, and spirit. And I knew that I had to go through it all, but I didn't want the side effects and I didn't want to have post-traumatic stress. So I decided if I could pack every day with opportunities to really laugh, really find the positive, really find joy, have authentic human connection, surprises and playfulness, then I wouldn't burn out. And as you may know, I did 3 surgeries, 44 radiation treatments, 2+ years of chemotherapy, and then was told to get my affairs in order. And because I had built up all this resilience from all this positivity, play, and fun, I was able to pick myself up and charge forward to find solutions for not dying, even when the medical world felt that there were no other options. So don't underestimate the power of fun and play. I sat next to a woman at the AACR convention. She's actually a patient advocate also. And she showed me her Instagram. And every time she went for chemo, she dressed up as a famous person from history or from present times. And it was hilarious. She would go to such great lengths. She went as Ruth Bader Ginsburg, Joan of Arc. It really was incredible. So she found a way to make each chemo treatment super fun and to not only entertain herself, but the people who drove her and then the whole hospital staff and the other patients. Because visually she was hilarious, but she was so clever in how she created the costumes to look like the different historical figures and celebrities. So even chemotherapy can be fun. I did it in a much more modified way just by wearing a funny hat or a funny wig, but that gave her so much joy plotting each different costume in between treatments that she didn't have time to really think about her mortality or to feel nausea because she just had so many endorphins going because she was just so happy. Her serotonin, her dopamine, all the things that make us feel less anxious, less depressed, more elevated, more joy-filled were in full swing. So you don't have to go to that extent. It can be small and simple, but just making sure that every day you're putting into your phone or your day planner fun, like in big block letters, fun, and make a decision each day what you're going to do just to increase the amount of fun that you're going to have each day. And like I said, that could be to call the laugh line, or you can have a humor buddy, a play buddy who you designate that at that certain time every day, the two of you have a moment of play, joy, or fun. And if you want more than one, then have more than one. If you have 7 friends you want to do it with, assign a day to each one. It's their responsibility to keep that appointment to laugh with you. And then each of you takes the responsibility to bring the other one joy. Or you could do it both. And that's another episode we do called Humor Buddies or Appointment to Laugh. We go into that in more detail. And if you have a cool way that you're infusing more fun into your cancer journey or your survivorship, you know that I love when you tell me that. So go to the Comedy Cures Foundation website, comedycures.org, hit the record button and leave me a message, or hit the contact menu and write me a note. And if you haven't listened to all these episodes of Beating Cancer Daily, there are going to be 365. We're heading towards our 200th episode of Beating Cancer Daily. That's where my next sights are. So when you go through all the prior episodes, you will see so many ways to have fun, whether you're in a chemo chair, whether you have to go for radiation, whether you have to go for surgery. And if you are in a survivorship phase or you're a caregiver, there are so many ways to boost your play, your joyfulness, your humor, and just have more fun. So I hope you have a more joy-filled day and that you realize there is a science behind play and laughter, and that even if you don't like having fun, even if you don't want to laugh, at least help yourself not burn out from the cancer journey. Big hugs. Go play with your dog if you have it. Go play with your child if you have one. Go play with your partner or a friend or another chemo patient if you have access to one. And if you don't, then just call the Comedy Cures Laugh Line at 1-888-HA-HA-HA-HA and press 1 to hear a professional comedian, 2 to hear an amateur joke, and 3 to tell us a joke. Because it's been shown that by sharing your goodness, your humor, your play, you feel better and you improve the life of another person. See you tomorrow. It was so great connecting with you today. If you'd like to connect more, go to comedycures.org and check out the Beating Cancer Daily membership levels. It is so fun to meet up with all of you at our many different events. We have live virtual Q&A sessions with me. We have live Comedy Cures comedy events, live Health Builder workshops with Jackie Bryan, RN, and myself, a robust monthly newsletter, plus much more. So just go to comedycures.org and look for the membership level that feels right for you. And don't forget, you can also give one as a gift to your patient if you're a doctor, to a friend, to a family member. It really makes a very unique and personal gift. That's comedycures.org and sign up today. Thanks so much. See you tomorrow. Guess what time it is? It's time for me to read the disclaimer. Beating Cancer Daily and the Membership Circle are not in lieu of medical advice or treatment. They are for entertainment purposes only. Please consult your healthcare team to review your best strategy. Thanks for listening.